First of all, just want to congratulate Desiree and UNLV. They made a fantastic hire. She was instrumental in helping us in this transition and helping our program this last year. They've hired a great one and done a good job with that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm also, thrilled for tonight. This was a fun event last year with the students. Obviously, they play a huge role in making Lane Stadium what it is. It's fun to interact with them afterwards. I hope they'll all come out and hang out with us and watch us work a little bit. And then everybody's looking forward to the spring game. That was a heck of an event last year. I hope the weather cooperates like it did last year. It was a great turnout, and a lot of fun, and something that we really enjoyed doing. And it should be a fun deal here Saturday. So, fire away.
Justin, you've always talked about how you grade every play in practice for 15 practices. On Saturday, or especially Saturday, do you grade the quarterbacks more differently because it's kind of live action?
Oh, I don't think we grade them any differently. We'll stay off them in terms of being contact in the scrimmage. We've had 2 episodes of live quarterback play so far in the spring. I think that's the best indication that you can get. We were in our second round of having live quarterbacks. It was a little more limited than the first time, but no, we don't look at it any differently. To me, those are the best evaluations you can get, and we're done with those. So there's plenty of evaluation time ahead of us, but I don't think the spring game will be any different.
When you watch the plays where the quarterback can't get hit, do you find yourself imagining what he would have done if he could get hit?
Yeah, it's and our defensive staff and players do a great job when they're not live of staying off them, and it's just a hard balancing act. We're trying to practice the best we can and simulate it the best we can, and when a guy breaks out, and would he have been tackled, would he not have been tackled, that's a fine line there, trying to get it all figured out. And sometimes you just got to pat the D lineman on the backside and say, I saw it, we would have had it, I got you. And sometimes the quarterbacks are, he would have not had me, all that kind of stuff. But and you do your best to kind of project and figure it out.
Have you gone live with quarterbacks a lot in your coaching history, or was that something you thought was necessary for this?
Yeah, in the spring. We've done it in the past, only in the spring, and we won't do it in the fall. But yeah, we've not always done it, but I would say almost always with some of them, we've had some live work.
Last season, obviously it wasn't the plan necessarily, but you ended up with Gerard being the leading rusher and getting so many carries. As you look at this roster, would that surprise you if the quarterback took the most carries next season?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. That to say yes or no on that, I think would be speculation beyond where we're at right now. So I don't know.
What have you seen from the running backs? And Trayvon seems to keep getting a little more comfortable with what you want him to do. Yeah,
Trayvon has had a good spring, and Stephen Peoples has had a good spring. I've been pleased with the improvement that those 2 guys have made.
Has TJ Reed done enough to factor himself in, or is he still a ways out?
I'd say he's a little ways behind those guys.
Bill was just in here and he was talking about no matter how bad things might be on the offensive end, you guys are always able to manufacture points and put points on the board. What can you really attribute that to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's up to the offensive coaching staff to find the best way to score one more point than the other team, and it's up to the defensive coaching staff to find a way to hold them to one less point. And whatever that looks like is inconsequential. So being flexible and being able to change what it is you do to play to your strengths, to give your guys a chance. Our kids work really hard. Some years you may be more talented than others in certain spots, but ultimately it's our job to demand the workload of our players, and then when they meet that, it's our obligation to give them the best chance to have success. And in order to do that, I think you have to be flexible. You have to do a good job evaluating what you've got and figuring out a way to try and get it done.
You know, I think you remember saying, at the beginning of the spring that this was the week you'll concentrate a little bit more on special teams stuff. Is that right?
Oh, we'll continue to do special teams. I don't know that we'll concentrate on it this week more than anything else. We have historically done a little bit more situational work or tinkering this week. I don't know that that's, that was kind of the plan to start the spring. I don't know that, or I know that, there's not as much of that going on this spring for whatever reason.
Have you seen, with what you have done anyway, have you seen any guys that maybe surprised you or emerged as return specialist types that maybe you would have expected before the spring?
Oh, our punt returners, you know what you've got with CJ and Greg and Cam. CJ and Greg haven't done anything all spring, so I don't know that we've seen anybody in terms of punt returning that. I don't know this, but I don't know that we'll have anybody that'll challenge those guys. On kickoff return, we'll continue to look at it and see. I really felt good going back and looking at last year at the strides Henry Murphy had made as a kickoff returner. I felt more comfortable kind of when we went back and evaluated everything. We got a little more production when he went back there, and I'm looking forward to him in the fall with some other guys. Caleb's been back there a little bit. I don't know if we'll continue with that or not, but I know he's looked good at times back there.
Is Henry nicked up right now, or is he? A
little bit, yeah.
Same with Kuma, is that right?
A little bit, yeah.
What's Caleb Farley? What's his spring been? Where have you used him? Where has he excelled? And what have you
He's played corner and wide receiver.
About equally, or?
Probably a little more at corner.
Have you liked what you've seen from him?
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line depth seemed like it was an issue here for several years. How well do you think you guys have addressed that, and how much more comfortable are you going into your second year since most of them know the lingo?
Yeah, I feel good about our knowledge base. It's going to be important over the next year that we try and, it's a little bit, I guess I should backtrack. I feel comfortable with their knowledge base because they're running the same plays. We still have to continue to create some depth there and get that number from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 guys that we really like and trust. So we've got a lot of work to do there, and that'll take time. I mean, it's a little bit easier to add to depth at some other spots than it is in the O-line because it's such a developmental spot. So to answer your question, I feel good about their knowledge. We're still working on creating the next, who's the 5th guy, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th guy.
Do you anticipate by the end of fall practice that you might have more guys in the mix so that you can play more of the up-tempo that you prefer?
On the O-line?
Yeah.
I hope that we have more than we have right now. I don't know that it'll be a huge number.
When you moved Diablo to defense early in the spring, you sort of did so without having seen him much on that side of the ball. Now that you've had 12, 13 practices, are you encouraged by that move? Is he taking that position?
I am. The thing about Divine is he's a highly intelligent, tough, competitive kid, and who's also been blessed with some pretty special athletic tools. So I felt good, even though he hadn't done it since high school, really. Or I shouldn't say good. I felt optimistic that it had a chance to work because he's the type of kid that can pick things up do that. And he's done a good job. So been pleased with him. But I've been pleased with him every day since I've been here. You know, he's just one of those kids. Every day, whether he's playing safety or playing receiver, he's just an incredible worker and highly intelligent and a joy to be around.
We asked Bud about Deion Newsom. From what you've seen, is the well-traveled Deion Newsom found a spot he can stay at, you think?
Yeah, I like where we've got him. You know, I think as we get healthier and deeper at receiver to challenge him more, you know, I think he'll need to continue to improve to meet that level. But, you know, the thing about Deion is he's a team player. He's a very good athlete. He's not afraid of contact. He's got a little bit of a defensive mentality and has certainly looked more comfortable than he did a year ago.
Justin, do you have a time in your head when you'd like to decide which way to go at quarterback?
Not really. And we'll just play it out and see how it goes.
Fans may think a little more about who starts on Saturday. Do you have a method to that, or will it be random, or kind of who has the best practices this week?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it. There'll be some method to it, but I'm not really sure. I wouldn't read a lot into it. Whoever it is, somebody's got to try it out there first. So, you know, and we just haven't talked about it yet. I don't know. I mean, we talked about today how we're going to divide the reps up, but we haven't talked about the spring game yet.
How big is spring game for the running back position in terms of evaluating those guys?
Well, every day is a big day for them. You know, we feel like we enjoy the spring game because it's a great stage and a celebration of Virginia Tech, and a lot of people come back on campus and have a good time, and that's a good thing. I like coaching in a place where it is a big deal, and I'm not diminishing that. But every day goes into our evaluation, trying to figure out what guys can and can't do and how they perform, and that'll be another one of those days.